Good morning and welcome back to Jody Lewis Creations. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I appreciate it. I love you guys. You're so wonderful and amazing. And so we are through with July. Yay! Today's actually August 4th. I cannot believe time is going so fast. So I wanted to talk to you about the new project. I have a lot of ideas. A lot, in fact. Where's my envelope? I don't know. I have an envelope, too, that has notes written all over it. Oh, here we go. So I had the envelope downstairs, and then I was upstairs and writing on the back of my project sheet. And so this is going to be my Christmas swap journal. And in the past, I have not filmed the swap journal series. Well, that's not true. I have filmed it. I just haven't aired it until after the swap itself. However, the one person who is participating that watches my channel says that she doesn't mind seeing the process. She likes to see the process. The other person does not watch my channel. And the fourth person, I don't even know her. I know her name. And we've chatted a little in a chat group, but I don't know her. So I have no idea if she watches my channel or not. So what I need to do is work on this and provide content for my channel. So I am, stop saying so, Jody. I am going to film portions of this for current content, and I probably will do the final flip through and air that after Christmas. So hopefully that won't seem really broken to you guys. But I feel like, kind of like with the Christmas journal, I worked on a lot of it with you, but I didn't work on all of it with you because there's just, I don't do that with my projects generally. Generally, I'll work on them some off camera. So I think I'll do the same with this. That way, if my friend who does watch is the one who gets my journal, there would still be an element of surprise for her to open the journal. So I hope that makes sense. I hope I didn't just totally butcher that. This is already my second attempt to film, and I don't really feel like I need to do a third attempt. So here's my thought. I just said so again. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here we have the books that I ordered, and I have a friend of mine had some gorgeous graphic 45 papers that she's sharing with me. So I'm just waiting on those to get here. She said, hey, I have these papers. Will they work? And I said, yes, they will. So I'm getting those from her, and they kind of give me a base to work with. So you'll see here I have 3 books, and downstairs I have some actual true, I'll have to go get them because I don't really know how to explain them to you. But they're very old. They're fragile. They're old. They're going to be fun to work with. But everything is kind of black and white or sepia tones, okay? This is an actual how to enter vaudeville. And it's a copy, and I'm really disappointed in the print, but I'm thinking that it's probably truly a photocopy, and this is probably the quality of the print in this brochure, and that's how it's translated. So we'll make some pieces out of this because it has some comical images and stuff in it. So I'm going to use that. And then I have the Queens of Burlesque, and some of these pictures are just stunning. But again, they're black and white. I did buy 2 digitals from Calico Collage. I have not printed those off yet. And so all of my pages are like sepia or black and white. Okay, so there is a little bit of color in the Calico Collage images, and there is, and the papers that I got that are the graphic 45, it's a retired collection. It's like cream and black also. So all the bases are going to give me a lot of freedom for adding color. And I need to go back through my messages with my friend because the friend that has the graphic 45, I was bouncing ideas off her, and then the same day I was talking to my friend, and we were bouncing ideas off one another. So I think that this is going to be a really fun journal. I'm really excited about it. You guys are probably like, stop blabbing and get to the point. But I really wanted to talk to you. This is something that is a new design for me. And my friend said she didn't know, she had not seen one made like this either. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this works, because I don't have a ton of time to try to make a prototype and then make the actual journal. So in true Jody fashion, we're going with it. Okay. So hope everybody's doing well. Obviously I'm a little scattered today, but what's new? You guys are like, what's new, Jody? I have my notes here, so I will kind of talk to you about where I think I'm going with this. Then I think what I want to do is work on the cover, because somewhere else, yeah, I kind of had a doodle here for the cover. And okay, so stop saying so. Oh my gosh. I have some black cardstock here, and it's, I don't know what weight this is. The lady that owns the coffee shop a couple houses up had a bunch of like cardstock in her barn, and she says, do you want this? And I'm like, heck yeah. So I took it, and I've had this for a while. And so I don't know what weight it is. It has some texture to it. I don't know if that's going to matter. So these are going to be my page bases. And what I am thinking is, these two books are really tall. So in order to accommodate using these images of these women, we need some tall pages. And after I did the steampunk journal, I truly was like, I am not doing a tall, skinny journal again. So guess what we're doing? A spin-off of a tall, skinny journal. It's not actually going to be super skinny. It's not going to be skinny, but it is going to be tall. I really hope that this journal does not end up being super enormous. So I'm going to have to limit myself and put restrictions on myself. So this book is 11 inches tall, but these images are so fantastic. I really don't want to have to fold them or cut them down. I really want to embrace, this is like glamour shots. You guys remember glamour shots? I don't even think they're still in business, but these would be like their advertising shots or whatever. I don't know what, I can't remember the word. So what I'm thinking is my cover is going to be 11.25 by 6.25. So 11.25 tall, 6.25 wide, and then my pages themselves are going to be 11 by 6, I think. And then my cover I'm going to make out of a heavier chipboard. And I have a vision. I just have to bring it together. And this is going to be a top spine. I believe I'm going to attempt a top accordion spine. Well, attempt is, it's got to work. That's kind of what I have in my mind. So it has to work. So what I'm going to do is find the stuff for the cover and work on the cover, because that is what I do have a clear vision of. And then I'll come back, because I have to work that out in my mind. Hang on. So I guess more than anything, this is going to be like an introduction video, because I'm not going to accomplish much, because I still have to gather a lot of things. So my vision, that's the word, is going to have this green, I don't know, this is like a velour almost. So I want this to be like a curtain on the front, right? And it's going to drape open, unless I can figure out how to fashion one of those curtains that like you can pull the tassels and it lifts. And then I want some gold trim, and then in the middle of that is going to be all the world is a stage phrase in the middle, okay? And that's going to be our cover. And I do have these little lights from Harbor Freight, but the strand is too long. So I need to figure out if I can find just a short strand of like fairy lights or something, because I think that would be super cool under the curtain. But I'm probably getting ahead of myself with that vision. Oh, don't refold it. I had sprayed this with water and had it laid over a box to try to get the crease out. So I think it'll be okay for what I want to do. But I have to do a little bit of finagling to get my curtain made. Do a printout on my computer, because I don't know if I could stamp that out and have it look right. And then I was also thinking I wanted to do something that maybe looked like wood along the bottom. Ooh. For the stage. So anyway, a lot of thought going into the cover. So this is just going to be the introductory video. I'm not actually accomplishing anything in this video, but I did want to talk about it. So you guys would kind of know what my plan is, where I'm going, and how this kind of series is going to play out. So forgive me if it does feel a little choppy with doing the final flip through after Christmas, but I think that's just the fairest thing to do for the participants, in case my one friend is the one that gets it. So I'm going to go with, I think we're going to go with the neutral tones, and then I want to use like jewel tones, sequins, tassels, feathers, like anything that would have been in kind of a burlesque show or the vaudeville show and stuff like that. So just really fun, and like I have the, and I don't normally work with men images, but he's going to be fun on a page, I think. So I don't know how many pages I'm going to have. I think I'm going to do 10 base pages, and then, of course, some interactive pieces that'll fill the journal so that it doesn't feel like it's only 10 pages. But because of the style at the top I want to do, I'm thinking that's going to be the best way to go. But we'll get through this together. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about this project, and I hope that you will be too. I'll see you later. Okay, so I was kind of digging in my stash, and I got some chipboard out, and I have some 11-inch pieces and some 12-inch pieces, and I think I am going to go with the 12-inch because that's going to allow me to have those front and back covers at the height that I want. Because this is 11 inches tall, I want to make sure that I'm able to use the height of these images if I want to, like I already stated. So these are 12 by 12. Oh, I started to say obviously, but you cannot see the whole piece. So 12 by 12. So what I want to do is cut these to, what size did I say? Where's my notes? 11 1/4 by 6 1/4. That way I have the height that I want, and then we can work on the cover. Normally, like I said, I do the cover last, but I'm doing the cover first today. And I do have some kind of beat up edges here. So probably what I'm going to do is cut a strip off so that it's a clean edge, and then cut my pieces. I'm going to paint them black so that they can dry. And then once that is dry, come back and we will glue a napkin to the front for some texture. Yeah. And then come back with more paint. Or maybe I just glue the napkin on first and then paint it. Okay. Possibly, but let me get these cut down. I have my pieces cut, so they're 11 1/4, 11 1/4 up and down by 6 1/4 side to side. Okay, so we have a front and a back piece, and what I'm going to do is get my yucky little Dollar Tree mats out here. Don't know, yeah, got to do one per. And I could do this on parchment paper too, and then if the overlap would give me some collage fodder, maybe I should do that. Yeah. Oh, that was, oh my gosh, you guys. I just pulled a piece out, and I don't know what was all over it. But needless to say, I made a mess. Okay, so this is paper that I was using to make the Christmas bit. And I'm not going to tear this. Hang on, it'll be way too loud for you. Oh, goodness, you guys. I'm really having brain function issues today. I hope these aren't too loud. I do have gloves on because I have an appointment today, a massage, and I don't want to go with black paint all over my hands, and Michelle will be like, what are you doing, lady? But she knows that I do this kind of stuff, so. But the black does make my fingernails look super gross. Mark is like, really, Jody? So this is just inexpensive apple barrel paint from Walmart, and I think this, when I bought it, was like $2.50. So it's good for this. I think I have a big goober there. It's okay. I'm just going, and this is going to be, I can't stand the sound of those. Oh my gosh. They're terrible. I guess I should have gone downstairs and gotten the vinyl gloves. I can't stand the sound of that. This is probably going to take a couple of layers just to make sure that we have good coverage, okay? I don't want big goobers, and because this is going to be the inside, I want to make sure that, yeah, we have good coverage. I already said that, didn't I? Where is my, maybe just like a pokey tool or just something to hold that, so I try not to make a mess on myself. Anyway, so I don't know what I've said or not said because I am having difficulty filming. My thoughts are super scattered today. Just a lot going on, stuff with the child, and I'm not going to go into detail with what's going on. But you guys know it hasn't been easy with him since we got home. And I feel like every time I turn around, it's something else. And I find out through sources, not him. And it's hard to watch train wreck that I can't stop. No, I really want to stop it, but it's not for me to stop. He's got to learn, and the only way he is going to learn is by falling flat on his face, and it just breaks my heart to allow that to happen, but I can only do what I can do, and I can only advise him in as much as he wants my advice, but he knows everything and I know nothing. So here we are. Not an easy thing. I admire people who have easy children. I think it's such a blessing, and I hope that if you have easy children or you had easy children, that you thank them and love them and appreciate that ease. And you know, God gave me him for a reason, and I do love him very, very much, but I'd sure like to know why God thought I was the one to raise this kid, because it's been a challenge for us both, I should say. I'm not perfect by any means, and I know that. Okay, so that's coat number 1, and I am kind of trying to apply a thin coat just to make sure we get it all. Ooh, that's giving me a cool crackle effect in there. Ooh, maybe I should do the inside with some crackle glaze. That might be kind of cool, huh? So I think, yeah, let that dry. Look, I have a use for these. I hate these. We bought these. We thought they would be really good for like working in, and they're so huge, I can't function in them. So this is really kind of how I use them, is putting paintbrushes in them. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. Actually, I'm gonna hit it with my heat tool so I can get the next coat on and flip them and get the napkin on, because I want to kind of get this moving along here. My goal is to have this one done by the end of August. We'll see if I can make that happen. Okay, well, so much for not getting paint all over me. Okay, so I have 3 layers of paint on here. So then I'm gonna flip these over, and where I got paint around the edge, I wanna make sure that that's not like big, gunky blobs of paint, okay? And then I'm going to clean up the top of this, go wash my hands. I need to eat some breakfast. And then when I come back, we'll get some napkin put down on this side. Okay, so in this little container, I just have this glue. And I had gotten this on clearance, and I can't remember now how much I paid for it, but I know I told you guys, it's just Scholastic School Glue. I know I told you guys in another decoupage video that I did. Oh, I got way too much water in that one. Anyway, I know I told you, I don't know, it's like $3 or something. I don't know. Okay, so then I have just a bunch of napkins here. That's way too much water, but I don't want to go all the way outside to dump this. I don't want to dump this down my drain. It'll be okay. We'll use it. Actually, maybe it's not too much water. Anyway, I just diluted this glue, and I've done that because I want my napkins to stick really well, but I want this thin enough. Oh, that's mixing in nicely. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm not. I have a really bad headache today, too. I think it's a stress headache, actually, because where it's coming from. But fortunately, I'm going to get my massage today. Yay, my monthly treat. I can't believe it's that time already. It seems like I was just telling you guys. in the Christmas in July series that I was going. But anyway, it's coming from my neck, so I know what that means. So I want to be really careful here on my edges. I don't want to get glue on that back side because I've already got that painted. If I do, because it's water-based, I should be able to get it off. If not, I'll just take a sanding block to get it off. And then what will happen is I just have to repaint it. But I got some ideas. I have so many ideas for this. I am really excited about it. And I do apologize if it doesn't sound like I'm excited about it. But I really am. I truly am. I am looking forward to the images that I plan to use. And trying to... This is hard to kind of be on screen because of the size of this. And I still haven't had Mark... This phone holder is really stiff, which is great in some ways, and then other ways, not so much. Okay, so one thing to point out here, you can see my chipboard's warping. I'm assuming you can see it's like rounding up, but that's because I'm getting this side wet. It will flatten out as it dries. The other side has been wet. I'm not worried about it. Once this is completely dry, before I actually do any of like what's the word? Don't want hard edges on this. Before I do any of the embellishing for the cover, I'll make sure that it's super flat. I don't want it to be, well, maybe we're gonna have some straight edges if I don't want them or not. I don't even know what I'm saying. Smoothing it down, oh my gosh. So once this is dry, I'll put it under books and it'll be fine. I am taking this over the edge on purpose, and this being the front piece here, it's going to be completely fine. I have glue all over me now. Oh my gosh. I went downstairs. Did I get gloves? Nope. It's okay. It's okay. And then I'm just going to get this glued down, and I'm trying not to tear the napkin too much, or at all. Try not to tear the napkin at all. Let's use the right words. But if it does tear, it's okay because it's just going to give us more texture. What I'm attempting to achieve, the goal, is for this to kind of feel almost like a leathery background. Think bustiers and leather and all that good fun stuff. I'm telling you, this is going to be a lot of fun to work on this journal. Lot fun. And I don't ever get rid of my white bits. So when I am separating my napkin layers for you know, decoupage or whatever, I always keep the white bits because they're fantastic for cleanup, and you can stamp on them. You can do what I'm doing right now. I mean, they have a lot of uses. So if you have your white bits, don't just throw them away. Use them. Definitely use them. I am going to be a gluey mess to go for my appointment. It's okay. It's okay. Michelle's got a wonderful sense of humor, so she won't mind. But anyway, so yeah, keep your white bits because they're so great for so many different uses. And you can use tissue paper for this as well. If you didn't want to paint it, you could just use fabric and cover. And it just depends on what your goal is and what you're wanting your effect to be, I guess. And I want to make sure that this is plenty glued down and really have good adherence because I don't want it to peel up or bubble. And yeah, so just getting to those edges really well. And I do think I'm going to use some book corners on this project for our two bottom corners on the front and the back. And I think, yeah. This is just kind of an evolution of thoughts here. So as I'm talking to you, it's kind of just me saying, oh, this is what I think I want to do. Not sure. And it's all, you know, it's fun. This is going to be kind of mixed media in here as well, which I like. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There was one technique that I really wanted to try in that Christmas journal. I still didn't get that corner. In that Christmas journal, there was another technique I wanted to try. It's been done. It's the blowing bubbles and getting like bubbles on your papers, dyed bubbles or paint bubbles or whatever. But it's where you mix your coffee or ink with water and some dish soap, and then you blow bubbles in it, and then you scoop your bubbles and put them on your paper, and it's supposed to, I've seen it done a couple different times, so hopefully it would give us some cool effect, but I have to wait and see. I need to print the digitals that I bought, and I only bought a couple of digitals for this because I really couldn't find any background papers or anything that really spoke to me. So I'm going to have to figure that out still. And also, what was the other thing I was going to say? The background papers and, oh, what I did buy is just to give me a couple smaller ephemera bits with some, they're just images of women. And so just to give me some stuff for some smaller pockets and just a little pop of color, because they're really, like I said, well, I showed you, these are pretty much black and white pictures. Okay, so I have one done here, and I'm lifting that, it's wet, so it's going to peel up. I want to make sure I'm on that edge really well with my glue to make sure that's, you know, sticking well. And then also, again, I'll probably take a sanding block to the edges of this to get this napkin off once it's dry, and because I don't want it to peel back up into my cover. Now I'm going to do this side the same way and let it dry. I'm not going to take my heat tool to this. I'm going to let this dry while I'm gone to my appointment. That should be plenty of time. I don't know if you can see that. I've got air in there. The air bubble is moving around. So hopefully there, I think it came out. Just keep moving that to the edge, but I'm just trying to be gentle because I don't want to tear it. If I do tear it, it's okay. I'm just trying not to be. Remember that as you get your napkin wet, it becomes very, very fragile, but I don't want the air under there, because if I have air under there, it will lift. So want to make sure we get really good glue all over. And I mean, you could just use Elmer's school glue for this too if you wanted. I mean, a lot of times I'll use my matte medium, but for this I didn't really feel like I needed to use my matte medium. I just am going to use this school glue. I know it will hold. Let that dry. It's on the parchment. If you're doing this, make sure you're doing this on a non-stick surface, because if you don't, you're going to stick to your surface and then potentially cause damage to your piece. Where the parchment, it should release and shouldn't cause any problems. So when I come back later after this is dry, we'll see if that rings true or not. So I'm going to do this side, and then I'll be back with you guys later. I may put a little more on here for some added texture, but I don't know if you can see the difference in color. I'm trying to look through my phone because it actually looks like a lot more difference through the screen than it does here. But this is one layer, and this is 2 layers where it's a lot more white, okay? So, but I still have a lot of texture, and it's fine. And I'm trying to decide how my curtain's gonna go on here, so it's gonna be interesting. I'm really excited about this. And this is backwards. I don't normally do my covers first like this. So, okay. I am so excited. Okay. I did gently pick these up. I just use a plastic palette knife and lifted from the bottom because I wanted to see how much glue I had gotten on the back side. And so I'm glad I did do that. I just took my baby wipe and just very gently tried to wipe the back side to try to minimize the damage from the glue on the other side, even though, again, I can sand it and fix it, but I was just trying to minimize it. I used most of that glue, and in fact, I'll just use the rest of it because it'll just dry and stay in this little, I don't even know what this little container was. I'm pretty sure I told you in a previous video what it was, but I don't know. But it's just a little plastic thingy. And so I just keep it up here and use it for glue. And once it gets too yucky, I'll just throw it away. Or throw it in recycle, I mean. So I'm just wiping the excess glue off of my spatula. and let this dry. I have to go take recycle and go to my appointment, go to the produce stand, come back, make salsa, get dinner ready. So I will be back up here to work on this because I do want to get a layer of paint on it today so that it can dry. Again, I'm not taking my heat tool to this because this glue can bubble. I want to make sure it's good and dry. And then my first layer of paint will be a very thin layer, relatively thin. And then, but I'll come back and do that with you so you can see how this is dried. And hopefully this video won't be super long, but I did blab a lot in the beginning. So bear with me. Thank you for your grace. Okay, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, I'm back, and I had my massage, and I have made salsa, and that's setting up in the refrigerator. Uh-oh, we might have a problem here. And my massage therapist. So Mark has a rib out, and I keep trying to karate chop him. And so this morning I was like, well, honey, you can have my appointment. If you want to take it, take it. And he was like, no, you need it. And it was so funny when I'm telling Michelle this, she was like, you need it probably as bad as he does. Oh my gosh, I feel so beat up. I mean, I needed it, but well, she can't get all my knots worked out. Oh, crazy. So she said, what are you doing when you go home? And I said, well, I have to make salsa. And she goes, but that's it, right? You're not doing anything strenuous. And I said, well, I don't plan on it. So I went by Mark's at his dad's house. And so I went by there and I was like, I'm grounded today. I'm not allowed to do anything strenuous when I get home. And he goes, how are you feeling? I said, like I've been trying to bench press 500 pounds. Oh my gosh. My back just really hurts, but everybody carries stress in like different places and stuff. And anyway, I'm carrying mine in my back and my neck. So fortunately my headache has subsided, so yay. You know, I feel like I should have put this on something so that it would like have dried better. Like you can see here, I'm gonna have to touch that up, but that's okay. That's just part of this process. I'm not worried about that. We're just at the beginning stages here, right? So I don't know what is going on, if that's through. I think the paint is off and that's actually into the chipboard. So definitely gonna have to touch that up. Okay, so then you can see I have these jaggedy edges, right? And so I have my sanding block here, and I'm just gonna demonstrate for a second because it's probably gonna be really loud. You know what? That's still wet. Okay, and I'm just gonna go along the edges here. Try not to file all my fingernails off here with holding this. And I'm just gonna go along the edge here and get that napkin off the edge and just go around. And boy, this is not as dry as I had hoped. But I think it's dry enough now. I might be able to take my heat tool to it, so let me try that. So I took my heat tool to them both. They're still not 100% dry, but remember when I used that white glue, I had mixed that with water. And so that I soaked into and saturated this chipboard, so it's pretty pliable right now. But as this dries, it will harden. And as I embellish and do things to it, it's also going to stabilize. And I do think that did get into the chipboard, so there's probably a chunk on my table somewhere, and that's okay. Again, all things we can fix. We're at the early stages. So what I've done, and again, this is very loud, so I'm not really going to do this on film, but I have my piece, and I'm just going around the edge of that, and I have to get a little aggressive with a little bit of it. And I've gotten on this side too, and that's okay. I'm not worried about it. I can touch up the paint. Again, as we embellish, it's going to be fine. And I do think on this cover, I'm probably gonna gild wax, use my gilding wax, my gold gilding wax, around all the edges, just to give the cover a little more interest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do all of this. Then I'm going to paint the cover with a layer of black and let that completely dry. And so this video, I'm going to end here. Well, I think I am. Because I don't think that anything that I'm doing at this point is something that we haven't done together before. You can go back and look at the Hummingbird Journal series where I did that with a a cereal box. And I believe I used napkins on that. But a lot of the same technique. I'm going to put my black paint on. Then I'm going to look at what other kind of jewel tone paints I have. And I'm not going to add a whole lot of color to the front. It's going to be mostly black with gold. And that way, whatever we use for our focal point, you know, our green fabric, and however we do our words, that's really going to be the main focus on the front. And then the back will be, you know, just really subdued with the black and the gold, I think. Unless I start doing that and I don't like it, then I'll come back and tell you like, hey, I didn't like this. This is how I fixed it. But for now, this will be the end of the video because I've got to get these done and get a layer of paint on, and then they're going to have to dry overnight. I just really don't want to continue to add wet medium to these and run the risk of them not having an opportunity to dry out well and firm up. And in fact, I may end up setting them out in the sun for a little while to really cook and bake that. But if I get that black on, it's going to heat it up and hopefully draw that moisture out and see what we get. I don't know. It may bubble. The paint may bubble from the moisture, but all things we can fix, all things we can work on. So thank you for joining me. I know my last video was that July card kit, and boy, that is so outside of my comfort zone and not something that I do very often. I did sign up for it again in August, but it's probably going to be my last month to do it because it's just so cutesy. Cutesy just isn't my thing. So we'll see. We'll see what I get this month and go from there. But anyway, yeah, so I hope you have enjoyed this video so far. I know it's been a lot of talking and not so much sharing or learning, but hopefully you have learned something so far about what you can do with the chipboard. And you guys know I typically do use like a cereal box, but honestly, I didn't want to deal with the mess of sanding the shiny surface, and I had these and I wanted the height, and it was just, for me today, easier. But you know I'm all about recycling those boxes and using those. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to hearing your comments and your feedback about this project and what you think about the theme and where we're going with it. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Well, I'm just too excited to make you wait till the next video. So I'm back, but only briefly to show you what I've done. You see my colors here on my mat, right? And these are the Winsor and Newton colors. I just love these colors, the phthalo blue and the Winsor violet. And I dry brushed all over, and you can kind of hopefully see there's color. You may not be able to see with the glare. But anyway, so now I'm gilding. So I just have my gilding wax, and I'm just putting a little bit on my finger, and I'm being very careful to just hit that texture. I don't want to get down in the grooves. I mean, if I do, it's not the end of the world, but look how this is coming together. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. I'm super excited. But anyway, so this really is the end of the video. There was nothing like earth-shattering to share, not anything new that I've done, but it's so beautiful. I just had to share. So, okay, bye.